Hi guys, my name's CaitlinAnwyn. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am going to be introducing you to the 7 Asylum members for my new series on the channel, the Asylum Challenge. Big shout out to the English simmer who inspired me to play this challenge on my channel. It was one of the first Sims videos I ever found on YouTube. Thank you, Molly, you're a big inspiration. First, let me introduce you to Link Glasgow, who was made by Green Zen on the gallery. I've nicknamed him the Pink Caveman. The description of Link on the gallery is that he just might be the missing link between Sims and whatever came before them. Paper dolls, stick figures, pet rocks. His hobbies include digging up rocks with his bare hands, eating, finger painting, and generally making a mess. And fire scares him. He is the creator also has put that he is paleo, which is known as the caveman diet. Yeah, so I researched how to pronounce his last name because it was kind of difficult. And it popped up that it was a famous cave system in France, and it houses some of the most famous examples of prehistoric cave paintings. Link is at the asylum because the CIA had been monitoring him, and they captured him when he was sleeping on a park bench in Brindleton Bay, and they've kept him at the asylum to research him and to discover more about prehistoric Sims. The next patient at the asylum is Annabelle Trotter, who was made by Ruminos on the gallery, Ruminos. She was titled Erratic Artist by her creator, and she is gloomy, creative and erratic, and she's got the painting aspiration. She is at the asylum because she was out one day painting the scenery of Strangerville, painting by reference, and she saw the explosion firsthand when she was painting, and she never got over it. The CIA found her crying next to her easel and brought her into the asylum because they knew what she'd saw. So Annabelle might be hogging the painting easel when we get to the asylum, so we best keep an eye out for that. But we can't really talk about painting by reference when we see her because she may go a little erratic. The next patient is Daisy Mae McAllister, made by SimmerGirl28. The creator described Daisy as a fun-loving, flirty young woman who loves art. As you can see, Daisy's traits are creative, art lover, and erratic, but I'm going to change the creative trait to the flirty trait because she's got the romance aspiration. Daisy was brought into the asylum because she lost her high school sweetheart when he left to join the military and died in combat. Daisy became erratic and inconsolable after losing her loved one, that she went to an art gallery and tore down every flirty painting that she could see. The Sim police caught her and she was diagnosed as erratic and brought to the asylum after they questioned her about the paintings. The only thing that made Daisy happy was admiring the paintings of her late husband. But there's not a lot of art here at the asylum, so Daisy may need to find happiness in the form of something else. The next patient to be checked in at the asylum was Laura Markham, who was made by Astrid Stars on the gallery. Really pretty name. Laura is a ambitious genius sim who became erratic after she worked at the secret lab as a scientist. She was one of the top tier scientists at the lab and knew all of the secrets and plans for the future. When the explosion happened and she was fired from her job, she was paid to keep the secrets from the town. Keeping the secrets of the lab made her become erratic because she felt like she couldn't talk to anyone in case she spilled her secrets. She locked herself away and wouldn't leave the basement of her home. The Secret Service came to check up on her to see whether she kept her promises, and they brought her into the asylum because she hadn't eaten food in 3 days. She still doesn't know that Carriad has taken care of the problem at the lab because Laura hasn't talked to anyone since the explosion. This handsome man is the next patient at the asylum. This is the first sim I created for the asylum. I basically just used random genetics to create the sims because I wasn't really concerned with specifically how they looked, because they are secondary characters to this series. The main character for the Asylum Challenge will be introduced in the next video, so if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the notifications to be notified when I upload that video. Sydney is a creative, paranoid and erratic sim. He was never really good at academic subjects in school, but always loved being creative. He spent most of his time before coming to the asylum fishing at the river in Willow Creek to research fish for his children's stories about creatures under the sea. But he never publishes his stories because he is paranoid that the aliens will find him. His paranoia has slowly got stronger and stronger and consumed him for most of the time. And his family sent him to the asylum to help him realize that the aliens aren't real and aren't coming to get him. This is Zayden Staley. Zayden loves dogs, loves dancing, and is erratic. He wants to be a friend of the animals. Zayden used to live at home with his mum and his 6 chihuahuas. Last week, Zayden's mum, Mrs. Staley, passed away from old age. The Staley's neighbours phoned the Sim police 2 days ago as they heard screaming next door. It turns out it was Zayden crying it out in bed. The emergency services brought Zayden to the asylum because he was inconsolable and couldn't speak to the police and the emergency services because he was crying too hard. Zayden's finding it difficult to live in the asylum with 7 other Sims because he hasn't been able to have his companion Chihuahua with him because they were put up for adoption after Mrs. Staley passed away. And the last patient to reach the asylum was Ari Cordero. Ari is evil, erratic, and hot-headed. He had heard strange rumors about Strangerville and moved into the town as soon as he could to investigate. He hoped to find information on the CIA so he could use it to blackmail them for millions of simoleons. The first person Ari spoke to was a beautiful scientist with red hair who told him everything about the lab and what happened in the basement. He immediately got on the phone to the CIA and demanded 10 million simoleons for his silence. They tracked his phone and detained him immediately. And the CIA psychologist diagnosed him as erratic. He is now imprisoned in the asylum, feeling very angry and deviously planning his revenge on the CIA. All asylum patients were given clean white clothes on arrival and were ordered to wear those and not outside clothes, just in case it triggers another patient's erratic thoughts. This was developed by the CIA, thinking that sensory deprivation and only seeing white in their surroundings and wearing white clothes would somehow clean their minds and help them get over their erratic trait. Here are the 7 patients that we'll be living with our Asylum Challenge main character. Hopefully she will be able to make some friends and who knows, maybe a few enemies. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that bell to get notified when I upload the next part of the Asylum Challenge, introducing the main character of the series. I hope everyone has a lovely day and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!